Hello, and welcome back to this Trails of Cold Steel Let's Play with me, SLJ RPG. In the last episode, we defeated Scarlet and Gorelia Fortress and managed to put a stop to the railway guns being fired at Crossbell, but both her and V managed to escape, as we find ourselves now heading into the 6th chapter of Trails of Cold Steel. If you've been enjoying this, I'd appreciate a like, I'd appreciate a subscribe. I'm going to be here either way, but without any further ado, let's on to chapter 6. See what new deeds we find today. 1204, September 15th. Once again, Class 7...
Half a month after the incident at Gorelia Fortress, a sense of lingering unease still hung over the Empire.
Once again, Class 7 comes to the rescue, as I was about to say, but let's just carry on here.
The government increased patrols by the railway military police as part of their counter-terrorism measures. While the noble faction bolstered their provincial armies. There were even rumors that they'd hired several Jaeger corps.
I mean, it does make sense. Get in some strength.
At the center of everything was the Imperial Liberation Front. They had allied with a terrorist group from the Republic of Calvert to attack the trade conference in Crossbell. And as we'd seen firsthand, had attacked Gorelia Fortress in an attempt to fire the 2 railway guns stationed there. They'd made it abundantly clear that they were no mere insurgents. These were dangerous people we were dealing with.
Indeed.
And following their attempts to target Chancellor Osborne and the Reformist faction, rumors started to spread of a possible connection between the Imperial Liberation Front and the noble faction itself.
It does make sense.
Meanwhile, new information was filtering in from Crossbell that surprised us all. During the conference, one of the representatives of Crossbell's state government made the daring declaration that Crossbell would soon declare its independence, breaking free from its neighbors Calvert and Erebonia.
We of course were here.
To no one's surprise, both the Imperial government and the noble faction dismissed it as nothing more than delusional raving. But one thing was clear. That declaration only served to increase the tension in Erebonia and across the continent.
Indeed. As we hear in Trista, Celine getting patted by some of the local kids getting frustrated. So there appears to be cars here at the Academy. Is this the end term?
On a cool, clear autumn day, the Academy's prestigious board of directors gathered for their first meeting of the year.
Interesting. And we know who's on there, obviously, is Gideon, Vander, is, we know it's Olivert, we know it's the Alyssa Rhine Ford, we know it's Rufus Alborea, and we know it is the governor of the Imperial City, Macius Regnitz. Karl Regnitz is his father. So, let's see what they have to say. Just drinking a tea today, guys. Not coffee. Had some cold brew earlier. Voice acted.
And that concludes my biannual report.
Good. It seems the Academy is running like a well-oiled machine. No administrative issues to speak of. Student performance is sitting comfortably above the national average on exams and on general aptitude tests, too.
The second-year students seem to be having a banner year as well. The Student Council president, in particular, has built up an outstanding array of extracurricular achievements.
With our help, of course.
Well, she attended last month's trade conference, and from what I hear, she put the professional secretaries to shame.
Oh, Matt Mercer, speak to me.
I only wish the conference could have ended on a more positive note.
I'll say, the share prices of my company have been on a real roller coaster ride ever since.
Undoubtedly, what happened at the trade conference has wreaked havoc on the economy as a whole. But moving on. I couldn't help but notice in the recent exam reports that Class 1 and 2's academic performance seems to be slipping. Perhaps the preferential treatment given to the upper class students is hindering their scholastic development?
The tensions are real.
Students belonging to the nobility are allowed to return home during August to learn more about their family's lands. It's a tradition here, but one I can't help but wonder if we've outgrown the need for in this modern age.
If I may, traditions accumulate and hold meaning only so long as they're preserved. Our nation's culture, its arts, its social classes, all are rich with tradition that makes Erebonia what it is. And I believe we have a duty to protect and uphold them. After all, does not this very institution champion the ideals of its founder, Emperor Drycles?
Indeed it does. Though I've always understood Drycles' intent to be the founding of an academy for the people.
Interesting.
Even 200 years ago, when education was seen as the province of the nobility, male commoners were permitted to enroll. Today, we have plenty of young women attending, and the commoners easily outnumber the nobles on campus.
Of course.
Perhaps it's time we started taking strides to realize Emperor Drycles' true ideal.
You seem to be laboring under a few misconceptions here. Commoners were permitted to attend, but only as retainers. Retainers served knights, who served lords, who served the emperor. That's the way the Erebonian society functioned.
As someone who's British, I do understand how this works.
From that vantage, the structure of the academy in its earlier days certainly seems to have embodied that social order. And if that's so, what is there to suggest that it's not the social order itself that has become the aberration?
Well,
For one, if that were the case, it would be far easier for me to see my views put into practice.
Interesting.
But I can hardly get a word in edgewise between you two.
Yes, these are definitely the two ends of each.
Well, I'd certainly enjoy a return to the way things were in Drycles' time, at least in that particular respect.
Our apologies, Your Highness.
well, our role here is to consider your views and work toward implementing them.
See what I mean? Would you be so kind as to help me out here, Principal?
What's the plan?
I'm here to moderate this board. It wouldn't do for me to express my position on the issues at hand.
I mean, you are in charge, so you
That
should.
said, I'm sure your passion for reform will triumph in the end, Your Highness.
He wants to
I
mix
suppose
classes.
I should have known better than to look to my old teacher for sympathy.
It warms my heart to see such a fine teacher-student relationship.
Now, if I may, I'd like to steer this discussion toward a rather timely topic.
Class 7.
We've already touched on the issues regarding the Orbal Net and the Orbal Staves, but I'd like to stress again that the adoption of new security measures for the Orbal Net should be a top priority.
Definitely should be.
Well, I'm certainly inclined to agree. But we'll have to rely on the Foundation directly, as things are looking a little shaky with the IBC.
You can leave that to me. The other matter I'd like to review is the use of the Orbal Staves and the Arcus units. Or more specifically, we need to talk about how Class 7 should operate from here on out.
All of them have links. Apart from maybe Oliver, but Oliver's the thought process behind
Setting
it.
aside the fact that my daughter is a member of Class 7, I think we need to reconsider how the class should be run, in light of what happened at Gorelia Fortress.
Indeed.
While it certainly proved an excellent chance to see what the Arcus units are capable of, I have serious doubts about whether we should carry on with these field studies, given the current political climate.
It would be difficult to do so, I admit. With the terrorists at large and the problems in Crossbell unresolved, these are uncertain times.
Very uncertain.
At the very least, I believe it may be in the class's best interest to cancel this month's field study. We could always resume them once the terrorists have been arrested and the situation in Crossbell calms down.
Will it be resumed?
Arise, O youth, and become the foundation of the world.
Drycles.
I'm sure you all recognize the words of Emperor Drycles. They've become something of a school motto here. It's my belief that Class 7's actions at Gorelia Fortress perfectly embody the spirit of that directive.
I would agree too.
They stood together to stop a tragedy in the making and, in a sense, protected the foundation of our world. No one ordered them to do it. They took action of their own free will, because they knew in their hearts what was right. Some might call it recklessness. Some may think it rash. Some may even venture to call it hubris.
Great word.
However, as chairman of this academy, I'm incredibly proud of what the brave young men and women of Class 7 achieved.
Your Highness.
So we're not changing it.
Troubled times may lay in store for Erebonia, and for the entire continent. in the months and years to come. But I believe that makes something like Class 7's field studies all the more significant. The experiences they're having now will help them find the strength and the means to press on through adversity. I can't be the only one who feels this way, can I?
They do seem to be showing remarkable growth. That much is true. Although I have no idea how much my daughter is really capable of, immature as she is.
Fuck you, Arena.
I could say the same of my hothead of a son.
Fuck off, Carl.
I do wonder about my brother sometimes.
Fuck off, Rufus.
However, it does seem that enrolling at this academy has helped him start breaking out of his shell.
Class 7 unchanged, then, would seem to be the general plan
With
there.
the Academy Festival coming next month, we hadn't even planned a field study. So the issue at hand is just whether to hold a field study at the end of this month or not.
Where are we going?
I'd like to ask those in favor of going ahead with this month's field study to please raise their hands.
I think it's probably going to be 3-1, with someone being out of it. Probably Rufus is what I would expect.
All right, I'd like to begin by taking everyone's ideas for our class's part in the school festival.
Don't trust you, Emma. 27th Military Academy Festival.
The festival will run for 2 days next month, the 23rd and the 24th. Equipment setup and the other preparatory work will begin in the afternoon 2 days before the start of the festival.
Indeed.
But there's a lot of preparation needed before we get to that point, and the sooner we get that underway, the better.
That's all the more reason to figure out what exactly we want to do. Some of our options include displays, events, stage shows, and cafes. Does that sound right, Crow?
Yeah, though no class I know would settle for just some simple display.
Indeed.
I mean, come on, no one ever said, boy, we better rush to get in the line for that display.
Oh, he's got a red coat now.
Well, either way, I'd like to start by soliciting some ideas from all of you. We're just brainstorming right now, so feel free to say whatever comes to mind.
So's Milliam. Nothing coming to mind. A tournament.
Would it kill you all to give just a teensy bit of cooperation?
That's my...
I know. It's just...
It's kind of hard to focus right now.
You're one to talk, standing up there with your nervous fidgeting.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised.
The board of directors is in session as we speak, deciding what'll happen to our class.
And those of us with family members who sit on that board probably have even more cause for concern.
I would agree with that.
You can say that again. We can't even be sure whether there'll be a field study this month.
That's about the long and short of it. With everything that happened during last month's field study, it honestly wouldn't surprise me if they just canceled it.
I mean, you keep finding yourself in these situations.
I can't say I have any particular feelings of attachment to our field studies, but I refuse to accept needless changes to our curriculum, especially with my brother involved in the decision-making process.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Makes sense to me.
We also have to account for the fact that going on our field study means that much less time to prepare for the festival.
Indeed.
So as you can see, it presents a bit of a problem.
We're going to be going to one. We should just do a tournament arc, always. Anime.
Man, look at you guys taking this all seriously.
I probably should have asked a little earlier, but what's this festival you guys keep talking about?
Wait, seriously?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have gone over that for your benefit.
Every year, the students here organize and put on a school-wide festival. There are stage events, food stalls, and all kinds of things to see and do.
I think this is quite a common thing to do in Japan.
And it generally falls to each of the first-year classes to provide the main attractions.
Yeah, participating is optional for the second years, since by this point they're usually focusing on their future careers. Oh, and each of the clubs generally get involved too.
Huh, that sounds fun. In that case, we have to do something.
Tournament.
We can't just let the other classes roll over us because we're small. You say that, but I've already had one of the girls from Class 1 bluster up to me declaring that this time victory will be all ours.
What?
It must have been Ferris. That sounds exactly like something she'd say.
Most probably.
Well, Class 1 does seem to have had it in for us ever since the midterm results were announced.
If it's all the same, I'd rather not see the House of High Arms claim yet another nominal victory. But we need to account for the fact that our class is markedly smaller than theirs is.
That's certainly true.
It'd help if we at least knew what the other classes are doing.
Tournament arc. I'm just going to keep on saying it.
Everyone's having trouble staying focused.
Come on, everyone, get it together.
Instructor Sarah?
Isn't this a self-study period?
Oh, it was. But I thought you all might like to know that the Board of Directors meeting just adjourned a few minutes ago.
So what's the...
So I decided to skip along down here and be the first to break the news.
So what's the news?
Then?
What about our next field study? Are we still on?
The Chancellor's not the only one with a little too much iron in his blood. Because the board voted unanimously to have you continue your field study.
Okay, I was wrong.
You mean it?
So that's how it is.
You know, even though they're always hard work, I actually feel a little relieved.
It's the best part of the school
Considering
year.
all that happened last month, we'll need to be especially careful this time around.
Still, it feels like our field studies are a big part of who we are as a class.
Yeah, it's what we do, fam.
They're kind of a pain, but oh well. We should be grateful to His Highness and the directors.
That's good news.
Seeing the hard road and the easy road, then picking the hard one anyway. That's youth for you.
Indeed it is.
It also sounded like His Highness and the directors will be taking off in pretty short order. So I'll let you guys out of study hall early to go see them if you want.
Oh.
If you say so.
I think I'll take you up on that.
Interesting. So I'm guessing it will become apparent what we end up doing for study hall. But... are they going to say hello? Rufus, Carl Rignitz, and... I like the Vanda model. We do like Vanda. Mother. Dad. Is anyone going to go speak to Oliver? Is it going to be us? I haven't had the chance to talk to you since summer. Quite the hero, Sir Corellia. Don't tease us. You first admit I acted rationally. And again, I have no regrets. Glad to hear it. Good to see you again. Likewise. May you feel so far behind us now. I do. You were in Legrand. But I imagine that you'd rather not take close interest in you. You imagine right. But look forward the Great House is and the rest of the noble faction trying to accomplish. Indeed. He needs to figure out where he lies. So suppose you actually managed to make it here, expecting a business negotiation to crop up in the nick of time. Indeed. Lady Alicia is quite the multitasker herself. You should see her. Top of balancing her time between studies, training, club activities, and hobbies, of course. That is such a toxic thing to say. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know if they're necessities. This is a very nuclear weapons kind of debate. Whose others are relying on so much, observe yourself and draw your own conclusions. It's what someone who was truly independent would say anyway. Indeed.
Still, I wasn't expecting to find myself indebted to you again so soon.
Of course, he talks to everyone else.
Without your intervention, the Chancellor and I would have met our maker in Crossbell.
Don't mention it.
We're just relieved you're all okay, Your Highness.
Indeed. I'm glad you were able to focus on making a positive contribution at the conference.
Was it positive?
I wish I could tell you that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I could scarcely find a place to chime in once the Chancellor and the Republic's president got going. Though the mayor of Crossbell managed to dumbfound even them.
Indeed.
I presume you're referring to his proposal for Crossbell's independence?
Hard to believe it could actually happen.
Well, as long as both Erebonia and Calvard refuse to accept it, the likelihood of it actually happening is incredibly low. Still, they're planning to hold a referendum on the issue to see if the population is in favor of it. So there'll be plenty more chances for disputes to break out over the issue.
Well, neither of them want to lose all that sweet tax revenue from Crossbell.
It's a very big point.
Half of it flows into the provinces too, so like, fat chance the noble faction's gonna take that lying down.
Of course you wouldn't.
Milliam.
I swear, this kid has all the delicacy of a rock to the face.
Yeah, certainly is that way.
So you're Milliam, are you? Your name seems to have come up with increasing frequency lately. Well, I was hoping for a chance to see the famous Eric Getlem in action, though.
Oh, sure thing. Come on, Lamp!
Whoa there. Cool your jets.
I'm not sure this is the best place to call out Eric Getlem. Just a hunch.
Probably not.
Lame.
Objection overruled.
That could have gotten messy.
I'm sure Oliver will get the
Honestly,
chance.
It would save us all a lot of trouble if you could just refrain from saying whatever pops into your mind, too.
Lame.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, who might you be?
He's a Vander.
Say, are you from the Vander family? The one who serves as the prince's bodyguard?
Oh, did Neidhart mention me?
Mueller Vander, of course.
I'm Mueller Vander of the 7th Armored Division. I was with the prince at the conference in Crossbell, so I'm in your debt as well. Glad to be able to thank you personally.
The honor is ours, sir.
It's an honor to meet a member of the esteemed Vander family.
Ah, so you're the Radiant Blade Master's daughter. And you must be a practitioner of the 8 Leaves, 1 Blade style.
Interesting.
I'm always happy to meet fellow students of the sword.
Oh, Major Vander.
And you must be the young man from Nord who my uncle wrote a reference for.
Yes, that would be me. I owe a lot to Lieutenant General Vander.
I thought that was his dad, but there we go. So
It
his uncle.
sounds like he's in your debt as well, with everything that happened in Nord a few months ago. Well, you all seem like dependable young men and women. Perhaps the prince's idea had some merit to it after all.
See? What did I tell you? And it's not just Class 7 either. The whole academy seems so full of life. Perhaps I should take this opportunity to break down social barriers by getting to know all of them in the academy's pool.
If you really want to work up a sweat, I'd be glad to let you run back to Heimdall. If you kept up a good sprint, I'll bet you could even make it in a couple hours.
You'd actually make me do it, too. Cruelty. My name is Mueller.
Funny.
It's like their hearts practically beat in sync. That's certainly one way to look at it. I wonder how long they've known each other.
Since birth, probably. A very long time. Elisa just getting frustrated. Macius getting frustrated? No, just staying the same. Rufus and Eustace speaking their minds as well. But Oliver's certainly the most interesting character here.
Well then, I bid you all a fond farewell. I hope we have the chance to meet again soon.
Trails of Cold Steel. How very good, how very interesting seeing some of the puppets align, as it were. Very, very interesting. 3 days have passed since the board of directors ended their decision, with the assurances that our field studies would continue. Finally turned our attention to the next month's festival. After losing a couple of days at the end of the month meant we had much less time to prepare. But no matter what we brainstormed, we couldn't have anything really compelling our small class could pull off, eventually. Can't believe we burned through a week already. At least it's perfect weather for a weekend out in town. Hope you enjoy a free day tomorrow, especially since you got another practical coming up next Wednesday. You can send us off with a good weekend, could you? She wouldn't be an instructor, sir, if she didn't know how to dash the torment. Then we should continue next month coming up. Then this month's field study coming up is the end of next week. Keep seeing when we go from there. She does, though. Can't wait to find out where we're going this time. Let's just have to participate, so if you can't think of anything, you'll be showing your field study reports instead. It wouldn't be my first choice or even fifth. Interesting, so we do have to figure it out. Stand and bow, says Emma. But Interesting. Interesting. Well, I'm sure she was just joking about putting our field study reports on display, I hope. We need to figure out what we're doing for start next week. We should have a goal to at least have some solid ideas by the end of tomorrow. We should check out the other classes are planning to. If we end up doing something that was already being done, would be totally redundant. Start gathering info. To find someone that will work with the number of people we've got. They have double the manpower. Greatest of relying on numbers. Museums would be economy. There must be some course of action that can turn our lesser numbers to our advantage. Might spice things up. It might do indeed, but we do certainly need some things. We can now equip various... I'm going to stick with this one. We like the Class 7 standard uniform, so I'm going to stick it. It feels nice to be back in red, as always. But we now know that we got some field study stuff done, so we need to try and get ourselves some new profiles first and foremost. We're getting to the point where we can't actually get the full one in this one playthrough, but that's fine. We're going to try and aim for as many as we can. Speak to Colette. Some more shed food stores. That is number 1. And then we need to try and find someone in the first floor. So let's make our way down. I always say it's confused me because it's always in my brain this is the ground floor, but here we go. If we speak to Racine. Is that who we were meant to be speaking to? I've forgotten. Was that who we were meant to be speaking to? No, we're trying to find Vincent. Vincent. This is Vincent. Might say acting put everyone to sleep. Maybe. So, we've got some stuff to do. So let's first and foremost head over towards the library because there should be some new books for us to find. We also need to try and catch some of the fish that we've missed. I'm not sure if we've got all of them so far. I don't actually know. So, recommended reading corner. Erebonian folklore, I think, is the next one. Have we done this? Yes, we apparently have. Next up is Celine. Giving Celine some milk. And I believe Celine should be up in one of her spots around here. Where is the black cat? Give her the milk. We want to give her all the milk possible. We'll keep on giving her what she needs to do. Then what is next up for us now? So, I'm not sure, but it says I can miss any... There's some fish that I could miss in the pond. I don't think I've missed any fish. But it's hard to know, of course, so we're going to try it anyway. Just to see if we get anything special. Ah, the golden salmon. We've actually already caught this. Crazy that this apparently appears here when it's so rare in Legram. But we'll take it, of course. I think I fished in every available fishing spot that we've got, which is good at least. My god, it's made this so much difficult for me than it needs to be. What I'm going to do is I'll use up my fishing pellets now, but I'll see you guys in a second once I'm done. So we did one of this. I'm apparently missing one. I did a little check, but I can't get it here. I have to get it in the Trista, what's the word? Mail, in the Trista River, so we'll do that for sure. Then there's another one in the old schoolhouse coming up, but then we'll have that collect thing. Let's speak to him. Hey, Marine. Speak of the devil, Crow was just talking about you. It's clear about you guys struggling with your plans. Embarrassing to find it. Who can blame you? You can start thinking of stuff now, it's all the way out there. Lend us a hand to come up with something. They get along so well, I think we should spend another year with them. It seems like he's going to be held down. Different classes, we did different things. My class had a little attraction that used some machines I built, of course. Leading man in a play, that was popular. All the girls went absolutely crazy for her and almost tore the auditorium down. Of course. It was far and away the most popular event at the festival, of course. Crow's a man of talents. Yes, it's true. What would happen if the railway guns work? He's right, besides, Slow weren't the only ones involved either. Gabriel was safe and sound and can jack around this like this. It's all thanks he needs. Nothing we need a hand with, so with that, I think it is time to head back to the dorm. As usual, I think it's just gonna state something, probably some sort of scene. Should I go back to the dorm? I'm gonna return to the dorm. What I would like to do is go fish in the fucking pond, to be honest, but alas, it seems I may not have the chance.
Insects, huh? Well, it is fall, I guess.
It certainly is.
Hard to believe I've already been here half a year. The festival used to seem so far off, and now it's just next month. The past 6 months really have flown by.
We've grown up a lot.
Huh? Is that you, Reed?
It's that Toa, it certainly is.
Toa? Hey there. Haven't seen you out and about too much lately.
She's had a shit to do, fam.
Well, the meeting I was in ended a little early. So I thought that was a nice point to call it a day.
I see. Did you guys discuss the Academy Festival?
Yep. We've still got a lot we need to nail down before next month to keep the preparations running smoothly. There's enough to discuss that we're actually meeting again tomorrow.
Sounds like work's really keeping you busy then.
Always.
By the way, have you figured out what you'd like me to help you with tomorrow? I'll even take the tasks now if you have them handy.
Oh, I usually sort those out before I go to bed. I guess I could go over them now, but there's some shopping I really need to do. Sorry, is it okay if I give them to you tomorrow morning like usual?
That's totally fine.
She gonna say thank you?
Reen, there's something I want to tell you, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to say it, but I want you and everyone from Class 7 to know how grateful I am for what you did at Corellia Fortress.
Oh. It's fine, really. We've gotten plenty of rounds of thanks for it already. We just kind of ended up in the wrong place at the right time, and we were lucky the instructors were there, and...
It's very true. Right place, wrong
That doesn't
time.
change the fact that you saved my life.
Yeah,
I wasn't on the
kinda.
same floor where the conference was being held, but if a shot from the railway guns had hit Orcus Tower, I doubt I'd be standing here today.
Yeah, you would be dead.
Toa. I'm just glad you're safe.
Me too.
Thanks. Anyway, I feel like I'm just kind of babbling on and repeating myself now, so I'll stop myself here.
Huh. She's awfully conscientious, isn't she?
She certainly is.
Oh, you said you were on your way out to do some shopping, right? Is there a lot on your list?
Well, a pretty good amount, I suppose. Oh, and I just remembered I need to pick up that stuff at the bookstore, too. Then after I get everything I need at the general store, I might have to make a trip back here to drop it off.
You could do that. Or I could come along with you and help carry all those bags.
Should be the
So
thing
how
to
about
do.
it? No strings. I just feel like you could use a hand.
She certainly could.
Oh no, there's no way I could drag you along on all my errands. I mean, sure, it'd be a big help, but I just feel so bad asking you to do it.
Shouldn't feel bad at all.
That makes it sound like deep down I secretly want you to come, and that's not...
We're just gonna help.
Well, if it eases your conscience, there's actually something I need your advice on. It's about my class and what we can do for the upcoming festival.
Toa is the one to ask, to be honest. Undeniably so. Brandon's General Goods. Keen's Bookstore. Struggling a little bit, Reen. And of course, Mitch's pawn shop.
That should be everything.
Indeed.
Wow, is it this late already?
I guess the sun has started setting a little earlier lately. Still, I had no idea you came here often.
Well, Mick is always able to get stuff you can't buy anywhere else. He's my go-to guy when there's something I can't get at the Academy store. Like fireworks to use in school events.
Makes
I
sense.
think we even asked him for a penguin costume once, and he actually got it.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a pretty unique shopping list.
Uh-huh. Wait! How did you end up with all those bags? Oh no, I'm so sorry. Here, give me some of those.
Don't worry about it, I'm fine. You're carrying plenty as it is.
Sorry, Reen. Well, how about we take a break in the rest area over there? I'll buy you a coffee or something. You wanted to ask me something about the Academy Festival too, right?
What do we do?
Ooh, yeah, that does sound like a problem.
Tournament Arc.
Well, your class doesn't have enough people to do anything that involves large-scale equipment or decorations. You all could get together and run a little cafe without any problems, if you all wanted to do something like that.
I'd thought about it, yeah. Still, if we're going to do something, I at least want it to be as impressive as what the other classes are doing.
Feeling a little competitive, aren't we, Reen? Well, you have enough people to put on a play or run a
Oh my god,
tournament.
I fucking called it.
But other first-year classes have already applied to do both of
Oh
those.
god damn it.
I see. I don't really want to copy an idea another class is already doing. Actually, didn't you, Crow, Angelica, and George use the stage for your exhibit last year?
We're doing a play.
You heard about that? How much do you know?
Not too much. All of them seemed to dance around the details. One thing they all agreed on, though, was that it was a real hit.
Me and my big mouth. You really want to know?
If you don't mind telling me anyway. Who knows? It might help me think of something Class 7 could do.
Well, if you insist, I can't turn down a chance to help a sweet fledgling first year, especially after how much you helped me.
He does really help you a
I'll
lot.
reach down to my toes and muster every last bit of courage to tell you.
Thanks. Was it some kind of traumatic experience or something?
Something went down.
Well, in short, we put on a musical performance. A little concert of sorts, you could say.
Wow, really? I wouldn't have expected that from you guys. So you can play an instrument then?
I am afraid not.
She does the singing.
That's how I got stuck being the singer. Angie, Crow, and George all played for the show, though.
Wow, that actually sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. If we put on a musical show, I'm sure Elliot would be a big help.
He would be.
So what kind of music was it? Classical? Folk? Show tunes?
Death metal.
Well, it's hard to describe, but it was passionate, really modern.
Punk rock.
I'm not sure I get what you mean.
Well, it's not really a genre that's caught on in the Empire yet. You definitely wouldn't hear it played in Heimdall's Opera House, that's for sure.
Huh?
Alright. Do you have some free time tomorrow evening? If you can't come until after you're done exploring the old schoolhouse, that's okay with me.
Tomorrow evening? Yeah, I should be free.
Interesting.
Should I meet you in the student council room?
Is it going to be like K-pop?
Can you go to the computer room in the main school building?
Sure thing. Does this have something to do with the concert you held last year?
You'll just have to find out tomorrow night.
Indeed we will.
Anyway, sorry to keep asking favors of you, but would you mind coming to the lower class dormitory with me? If we stay out here much longer, we're going to miss dinner at the dorms.
You have a point. But really, I'm fine with all the bags. Just leave the heavy lifting to me.
You're so stubborn.
He is very stubborn. It's very true. What kind of music is going to be? Death metal, speed metal, progressive chaos. What a name for a chapter. Oh my god. What a name for a chapter. I'm going to say we're going to stay in our room and say that if you've enjoyed this, once again, please like and subscribe, and we will see you guys tomorrow where we'll do some of these field assignments. So, let's see what it is we're going to be doing. A schoolhouse mystery, of course, a personal request, and a hard to stomach. So, we'll do those next time. After we do the schoolhouse, we'll do the meeting. Better reload this season, get to work, so I'll see you guys then. Peace.